Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Ray from Philly on Sunday night, December 9th, and this is part 3 of a top 10 episode that I'm doing. First two went off very well with the non-Hall of Famer rookie cards, and then second part was regional food and beverage. Tonight we're doing the top 10 pre-war cards based on basically investment potential, how they've done in value over the last 5 to 10 years, popularity, anything. I'm sure we're going to be missing a lot of cards on this list, but joining me is what I consider to be an expert in the pre-war cards is Andrew from Nuff Ced Cards. How you doing, Andrew? Thanks for joining.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to doing this.
Great, great. All right, so to get started, we looked over our list, and we already have a picture of number 10 up on the board on the screen. And Andrew, that's the 39 play ball Ted Williams card, black and white. This card's pretty awesome card. Did you agree with having this card number 10? What are your thoughts on this card, Ted Williams?
Ted Williams is my favorite all-time player. I do really like this card. I think a lot of people that are familiar with the play ball cards might prefer the 40 or the 41, but I really like the 39, the full full pose. I just think it's a cool-looking card.
Plus, it's his rookie card too, not to mention too.
It is. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great-looking card, and just to kind of get an idea of the value, I mean, I'm looking at vintage card prices right now, and in 2006, this card was $1,000, $1,025, and we're just doing mid-range grading PSA 5, and now it's, in 2018, it's tripled in, almost quadrupled in value. It's almost $4,000 for a PSA 5, so it's quite an unbelievable card for a great hitter, great player. So at number 10, we're looking at the 39 play ball Ted Williams, and then moving on, at number 9, a card that I wish I had on my collection was the 39 play ball Joe DiMaggio, another black and white card. Some other people might consider some of his other cards will be a little bit more nicer looking, like the 41 and the 40, but the 39 is pretty classic card. What are your thoughts, Andrew, on this card?
Yeah, I've actually been looking for this card for a long time, and trying to get a nicely centered, about round of 5 maybe, and just haven't found the right one. The 41, I think, is actually more valuable. I think it goes for more, and I think it's probably a much more popular card. Just my personal opinion, I don't really like that card as much. I think the face looks a little blurry usually to me.
Right.
I really like the 39. I think it's a classic looking card. I like the kind of portrait look to it.
And it says here in 2010, we're going based on a PSA 5, $500 8 years ago, and the card's almost tripled to $1,200. I mean, yeah, the 41 is a full pose. It's color, but this is a card, that a lot of people are. It's a heavily sought after card for sure.
It's not a rare card. I looked up the population report. It's combined PSA and SGC. There's over 1,500 graded.
Wow.
So not rare, but it is somewhat difficult to find a nice looking one for a reasonable price.
I didn't know that. So it's I didn't realize there was that many cards out there for this one, but interesting. Didn't know that. Moving on to number 8 is the 1909 American Caramel Cy Young. Now he has 2, one in Boston, one in Cleveland. We both agreed that it was the Boston one. Beautiful backdrop, a red background, and it's got a baseball caramels, American Caramel Company back of the card. So you really like this one more than the Cleveland one, right?
Yeah, I think for anyone who's watched my videos, is not surprised that I like the Boston card. I actually have this card graded a 3, which I picked up years ago. As far as Cy Young cards go, there's some really early ones that are insanely expensive that are beyond my reach, certainly. this one's not a cheap card, but I just really like the look of this card. The red background, like you said, is nice, and the old style jersey with the laces on it, the B and the A lettering for Boston Americans. I just like the look of the card. And the combined population report for this card is 174.
Wow.
So not a ton of them out there.
No, it's a nice looking car for sure, and it's like you said, it's not cheap, but it's definitely more doable, reachable than his other cards for sure.
Yeah, there's some in lower grade actually on eBay right now. I'm not exactly sure what they're going for, but you can pick this card up. Without spending five figures. So.
And the red background, the red background really pops too on this card. It's a really nice looking card.
Yeah, it is a little difficult to find centered. Oftentimes the E90-1 set, like they're miscut. They're sometimes have the diamond cut to them. But if you look a little bit, you can find reasonably nice examples of this card out there.
Right. All right, so we're going to move on to number 7. Now, this is the 1916 Sporting News Babe Ruth. Now, I wanted to ask you, is this considered Babe Ruth's rookie card, or is it something a little earlier, like 1914? I think there's a card out there.
It really, I guess, depends on what your definition of a rookie card is. He has he has a 1914, the Baltimore News Babe Ruth card is his first ever card. I don't think that there's more than about 10 or 15 of those. I haven't even seen one for sale in the last couple of years. Incredibly rare and incredibly expensive. Then he also has a 1915. He appears on a postcard, Boston Red Sox team postcard in 1915, which is the first time he's seen as a professional player.
Right.
So if you consider that a card, that would be his rookie. His first solo appearance as a professional player is the 1916. The M101-4 and M101-5. The front of the card looks the same.
Right. This is a nice portrait too. It's him pitching here with the Boston Red Sox. So I wish I had this card. This is an awesome looking card.
Yeah. I mean, I remember in the 80s. I want to say you could get this card maybe in lower grade for probably less than $5,000, and which of course is a ton of money. But now I don't even think you can get a beat up one for 60,000, 70,000 maybe.
Well, the vintage car pricing has listed PSA 3 at the average price at $32,000. So, and that's a low grade of a 3.
Good luck.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I don't. You're not going to get a 3 for $30,000.
Not today's
if anyone's
market.
selling one, I'll buy it.
You and me both.
Yeah. I think I had to estimate the population report on this, but if you're talking about M101-4 and 5 combined with all the different backs, I'd be surprised if there's more than 100 of these out there.
You're probably right.
Less than that.
You're probably absolutely right. Moving on, here we got at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Number 6 is the 34 Gaudy Lou Gehrig. Now, we kind of topsy-turvy between the 33 and 34, but we both agreed this is just a prettier looking card than the 33. And, you were telling me about it before we went on about this card. So what are your thoughts on this one? This is just the yellow backdrop with the Lou Gehrig says. This is a great card.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that independently we both came up with this card. I think probably more people out there. The 33 is definitely a more popular card, I think. And I'm not sure what the difference is in value, but I just always have liked the yellow background on the 34 Gaudy. He also has the one with the green background, which is number 61. The yellow one's number 37. But I've just always liked the yellow card.
Me too. You can't go wrong with this. And this card has just gone through the roof as well. I mean, it says here in 2006, and we're going by a mid-grade, well, not mid-grade, pretty high, PSA 6. In 2006 was 3,281, and now it's 5,650. But if anyone wanted to get a Gehrig, the 34 is a little bit more affordable than the 33. So And it's just a nice background, nice set, and definitely for sure. Next card.
Inflation on that one is about 1150, 1,150.
Easily. Next up, we got here number 5 is this 1909 Ramley Walter Johnson. This is an awesome looking card. You know the history about this one. What are your thoughts on this Ramley Walter Johnson card?
It's a little bit more obscure of a set. I really like this set. It's the kind of ornate embossed gold design on the front. It's one of the earlier sets that actually has photos of the players, and it's not a set that's easily collected. Even common cards, common players are gonna be over $100 usually. So I just really like the look of it, and
It
for
looks
Walter
great.
Johnson, I think it's one of his nicer looking cards. There's less than 60 of these graded, PSA and SGC combined, so not an easy card.
No, not at all. I mean, the card looks like it's kind of has like a frame about it, which really adds to the element of this card, and I really like it a lot. I mean, the T206 is great, but this is really, it's different. It's very, it's a unique looking, different card for Walter Johnson for sure. Totally agree with this one too.
People tend to either love this set or hate it. I like it, so I thought for Walter Johnson, it's a pretty awesome card.
Can't go wrong here. Number 4, we got the 1914. This is an iconic set. 1914 Cracker Jack Shoeless Joe Jackson. Do you own this one, or you own a Cracker Jack?
No, I wish I did. It's on my list, but it's a little bit out of reach for me right now. Really expensive card. The 1915 version, which looks the front looks the same, is a little bit cheaper, but still really expensive. I think it's a really iconic card. I love the Cracker Jack sets in general, and this card in particular, I just really like the look of it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, right after the T206, they came out with these Cracker Jack cards, and I mean, not enough love for the Cracker Jack. I mean, there's just some. I love the backdrops on these cards. They're beautiful, absolutely beautiful looking cards. Cracker Jack needs, no introduction. They're definitely phenomenal looking cards. And, Shoeless Joe Jackson in the PSA 4 is going for about, $39,000 just to the PSA 4.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, that's a tough card.
For sure.
Some of his other cards, he has, like we talked briefly earlier, that what's considered his rookie card, the E90-1 American Caramel. I just don't like that card. I think it's an ugly looking card. I'd certainly still take it, but
yeah,
the Cracker Jack to me is his nicest looking card.
Easily. Moving on now to number 3 is the 1909 White Borders Piedmont and Sweet Caporal Ty Cobb green back. We couldn't go without a T206 card for sure. And this is, there's 4 T206 Cobbs, but this green background really sticks out to me. What did you think about this one?
Yeah, all 4 of them are nice. The red background portrait, actually, the population is much higher. That was one of the super printed cards.
Right.
So the red background you can get for a little bit cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the bat on and the bat off, which is also a really beautiful card. But I've always liked the green background. Maybe it's because I have that card. I have a beat up one that my father bought years ago. But I think it's a classic looking card and a beautiful portrait of Ty Cobb.
You have this card? Is it graded?
Yeah, my father bought this card for $25. The one that I have in the 80s at a show. Oh my
God!
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I actually a couple of years ago went and got it graded, and it cost me more to get it graded than he paid for the card.
I believe it. Yeah, I absolutely.
It came back to 2, SGC 2.
Well, that's great. That's a great card to have. Absolutely. Ty Cobb's greenback, number 3. We're getting close to the end here. At number 2, we put 4 cards here. And it's the 33 Gaudy Babe Ruth. He has 4 cards. I'm showing number 144, which is the full pose, because that's just a preference for me. but you can't go wrong with any one of those 4 cards here at number 2. It's in my bucket list to get one of these 33 Gaudy Ruths. I think the cheapest one is, it's not the one that's in the full pose. I'm going to say it's the card number 181, which I think is the green back. I think that might be the most affordable one, somewhat. But you can't go wrong with any one of these cards for Babe Ruth. It's just another, I hate to keep using this word, but it's an iconic card. Do you have one of these? I thought you said you might have one of these Ruths.
I don't. No,
okay.
I don't. I have a 1921 E121 Babe Ruth, but I don't have a Gaudy. It's on my list of cards to get also. I actually like everyone's going to have a different favorite, but my personal favorite of the 4 is the green background. Yeah,
that's the one I just had up, card number 181. Yeah. That's reachable, in my opinion, of the 4. And I agree. It's just a phenomenal looking card. He's just got his arm rested down, holding the bat. And, it presents itself really well. Big League chewing gum down the bottom. Just a fantastic looking card. And we all know what number 1's going to be. We couldn't go, we couldn't go without putting this card on any list. At number 1, we have the Honus Wagner white. There's so many different variations, though, on the back. And we just went with the Piedmont Sweet Caporal because it's pretty much probably the most popular one. You don't want to know what it's going for these days. We all know what it's going for, but what are your thoughts on this? The number 1 Holy Grail card here for pre-war.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I actually don't think that it has the other backs. I think I think you can only find it in, if I'm not mistaken, Piedmont and Sweet Caporal. I don't think it comes with any of the other backs. I mean, obviously, it's a rare card. I think I read that there's estimated to be less than 60 of them.
Wow.
Known anyway, and one of the certainly best players of that era, and a beautiful card, and
not something we'll ever own, but
unfortunately no. But there's actually a couple of other cards that use the same portrait that are not cheap either, but much more reachable for most people. He's got the M116 Sporting Life portrait.
Oh, nice.
And then also the E103 Williams Caramel card. Beautiful card, a dark red background on that one, and it's a similar portrait. But number 1 is T206 Wagner. I don't think there's any, not much of an argument on that one.
Now, you said you had some honorable mentions. What were some of the other cards that you wanted to talk about that I could probably bring up real quick?
I had 3. It actually was real difficult for me making this list. You're talking about over 50 years worth of cards, and narrowing it down to 10
right.
is tough. But the 3 that I came up with that to me were close. The first one is the 1933 Gaudy Napoleon Lajoie card, which kind of has an interesting story to it, where it was never actually released in 1933. The Gaudy company intentionally left it out to try to get people to keep buying the cards to try to complete the set, which of course they could never do because it didn't exist. And the people that complained and wrote letters kind of forced the company to produce the card. It actually came out in 1934, and they sent it out to people who requested it. So there aren't a ton of them out there. A real valuable card, and I think it's a nice looking card.
It is.
But to me, he retired, I think, maybe close to 20 years, 15 to 20 years prior to this card coming out. So to me, even though it has that cool story behind it, it just didn't seem like it was top 10 to me. Right.
And what were the other 2 that you had on mind? For
the other 2, let's see. I had a 1911 T3 Turkey Red Christy Mathewson card. Those are oversized, kind of like cabinet size cards that were issued by the Turkey Red Cigarettes. I think there was a couple other backs, but you sent in coupons from buying the tobacco, and they would send you these cards. To just one of the most beautiful sets. There's all the big name Hall of Famers are in there. To me, the Christy Mathewson is just a absolutely beautiful card. So got an honorable mention for me.
Absolutely. I was just trying to bring it up, but there was just so many different ones coming up. What was the third and last one you wanted for honorable mention?
The last one was 1912 T202 triple folder card of Ty Cobb and Huey Jennings. And I really like the T202 set, and this one in particular, which has the center panel on the card, is Cobb steals third. And that is the famous Charles Conlon photo of Ty Cobb sliding into third base. And just one of the most, certainly one of the most famous baseball photos, I think. Ranks up there anyway. And, you have, on that card in particular, you have two Hall of Famers, Huey Jennings and Ty Cobb, with the Conlon photo in the middle. I just think it's an awesome card, and it's one I'd like to pick up someday, I hope.
Yeah, I just brought that one up. That's the 1912 Hassan triple folders. Ty Cobb steals third, Cobb and Jennings. Yeah, this is a beautiful looking card. Absolutely. We should have put this in there. This card could have made it easily.
Panel, that famous image of Cobb sliding, I think is awesome.
Yep, it's definitely, when you think of Ty Cobb, it's either that one or the one going in the home, feet up. I mean, those are the two biggest, portraits of Ty Cobb when you think of Ty Cobb. But yeah, absolutely. Well, if there's anything else, Andrew, I really appreciate you being on the this episode tonight. I'll have a link down below, people, for you guys to check out Andrew at Nuff Ced Cards. He has a lot of great, pre-war cards in his collection. Didn't you just pick up a Trish Speaker at the National and a Babe Ruth card?
Yeah. The National, I got a Cracker Jack Trish Speaker that I've been looking for years. Yeah, so
that's
awesome.
Big
pick up for me.
That's a great card. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Andrew. I really do. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for everyone for watching. This is Ray from Philly here on part 3 of a top 10 cards. Thanks for joining, and keep on collecting. Love the hobby, everyone. Take care.